Chat, chit, chat, chit, chat, chit, chat.
Hey everyone, welcome to Marketing in Minutes, where in 20 minutes or less, we will help you clarify your message, grow your brand, or move your business forward one smart decision at a time.
I love all three of those.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
And less than 20 minutes. Does it
So
get
good.
better?
Yeah. On 2x, that's 10
Oof.
minutes. You ever
So
think about
fast.
that?
What about 3x?
I can't do it. I can do 2x.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so today I'd like to talk about marketing. When it becomes or feels chaotic, like you're just a part of the noise. So I think I'd like to start out with the question, when a business feels like they are just becoming part of the noise, what are some things that they could do to like sharpen it or just not be contributing to the mass chaos of the internet? What are some ways they can focus that down and be actually create impact?
I think there could actually be a question, maybe even right before that.
So meta.
So meta. How do you know if
You're just a part of the
you're just a part of the noise?
Great question. I'll answer because you asked the question. I'm just kidding.
You might be thinking, like,
Yeah.
am I just part of the noise? You know, I'm just over here all day, every day, just trying to do my job, and on occasion, work on some marketing kinds of things. I would say look at the metrics of what you post. If you post a lot and you get 0 or 1 like, or if engagement is really, really low, I think that it would be safe to say that you are just a part of the collective social media noise. That doesn't mean that every single post has to be incredible, has to be perfect, or even that you have to overthink it. But what you should do is you should go and look and see, all of these posts aren't doing well, but I had this one that did really well. It got 5 times the amount of interaction that these other ones did. What was it about that post? And then it sounds so simplistic, but sometimes we make marketing way more complicated than it needs to be. Just make more of that content. And in general, I spend the most amount of time just in my personal kind of social media consumption. I spend the most amount of time on LinkedIn. And what I see a lot of is that posts that provide some real great some nugget of information that's actually valuable, those do well. A photo of a smiling face or two. This is our team and this is what we did today. People love that. Something that's like really meaningful in the business that just happened, that kind of content does great. And then the content that does not do well is just Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. That same post, maybe it's got a piece of clip art attached to it. The algorithm doesn't want that anyway, and so nor do people and consumers. And so I would say just figure out just some really easy kinds of content that you could create that are human focused as a really good place to start. Some of the I'm a professional who has an opinion that is worth listening to kinds of content, that takes more time, it takes more energy to create. And so sometimes some of that can be harder, but your team smiling and having a nice day together or doing something fun or special, that stuff is easy. If that exists in your culture, that thing is a really easy thing to do. And so it's just a nice way to maybe get some wins to do some of that kind of content while you're building maybe some other pieces of content where you could provide a kind of value.
Marketing can often become or feel overwhelming to a business owner. If you were to, so it can feel overwhelming because oftentimes there are several different ways to do things. There's several different platforms to communicate, norms, tendencies, cultures on those platforms, right? And it can feel like a lot. If as you're thinking about your content and the vast ways you can make content and clear messaging, we would push into that clear messaging. Can you kind of talk about why having a clear message is maybe more impactful and more important than a really, really creative piece?
Yeah. Clarity and consistency line up right on top of each other for me.
Right.
And I think if you really understand your business, you understand your brand, you understand how your service or product meets a need in a community, and then you build a marketing strategy around that thing, Consistency would say you just communicate that thing over and over and over again. Sometimes in small businesses, we get a little preoccupied with trying to reinvent the wheel. Every time we go to say something, hey, we're going to do a billboard, or we're going to do a social post, or I got to send out a drip email campaign or something. We always feel like we have to say new things, that it has to be novel and fresh all the time. But if you look at any big brand that has unlimited marketing dollars and unlimited research and development dollars, they say the exact same thing over and over and over again. Even to the point where they're running the same commercials, not even like similar commercials. They'll run the same commercial for weeks or months at a time. And then when they're done with that one, they just hire people that look similar and they just put them in a slightly different looking house, and then they just run that same commercial over and over again. And so I would encourage us, everybody, to follow what these really big brands do and make a kind of consistent choice where we just say the same thing over and over again. And so that kind of consistency, it's easy to recreate, but the work that you need to do on the front end is really knowing and understanding what it is that you say in your business, and then just say that thing, just do that thing over and over again.
So if someone does feel overwhelmed,
That was the question. Yeah, my bad.
you're good.
Yeah.
If someone does feel overwhelmed, what is the first thing that they should pause and fix, or pause and figure out? What should they be looking for?
I think if you're feeling really overwhelmed, there's maybe two sides of the equation. You could be feeling really overwhelmed because you're doing a lot and it's not working.
Okay.
Or you're doing nothing and you feel the pressure that you should be doing something.
Let's touch on both of those.
If you're doing nothing, I would say figuring out what pain point you solve and then just communicating that thing and doing it in winsome, easy kinds of ways. I said it a little earlier, but just seriously, a photo of your team, people smiling together, working together, and then just saying like, you're feeling this team of people right here, these actual humans, they meet this problem. That kind of content is not hard to make. And so to start, just do some of that. That would be a really, really easy thing to do. But if you're on the other side of that and you just feel like you're doing everything and nothing's working, that's its own kind of problem. And I would recommend then that you stop and you maybe don't post for a little bit and spend that time and energy that you're spending trying to market, trying to write, do emails. But if nothing's working, don't waste any more time or energy doing those things that aren't working. Really figure out what is it that you are communicating. If your business is working, that means that there are people that are having their needs met inside your business. You just need to figure out how to communicate that thing better. So take some time, build a brand script, think about your brand, think about all of those things, build a short, tight, consistent little brand script, and then just start communicating that thing, and then go slow. And then as stuff works, double down on what's working.
Yeah, awesome. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay, sweet. That was the shortest marketing minutes we've had.
That's awesome.
So efficient, especially at 2x.
That's right.
Awesome.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
See you later.